Meet Yolanda, who moved to Atlanta in need of a major life change. After 15 years of marriage, riddled with emotional and verbal abuse, infidelity, and a vicious cycle of broken promises, Yolanda finally took her 11-year-old daughter, left her husband, and to this day never looked back. It was her values and faith that gave her the courage to step out and start life anew. She credits the one thing in particular that she practiced daily to help get her through the hardship, and that was reciting the Serenity Prayer. This prayer gave her the reassurance and motivation she needed to believe it until she was able to live it. Yolanda admits that aside from the abuse, she lived a comfortable lifestyle of gifts and material things that caused her to stay in the marriage much longer than she should have. Nevertheless, she was determined for her daughter to know and understand that God made her great, and she should never choose to settle for anything less. Meet Chantelle. What impressed us most about Chantelle is her unwavering support for her 18-year-old son, who just graduated high school in May with a full ride to college. It's because of him that Chantelle moved to Atlanta in search for better opportunities, as she truly believes he'll make his mark in the NBA and in the world. While moving to Georgia proved to be a positive decision, the struggle they experienced with transitioning was indeed a challenge. They resided in extended stay motels, then lived in churches until Chantelle was able to save enough money to move into an apartment of her own. Because of this mother's positive rearing and guidance, her son says his only motto for life is, failure is not an option. Meetarissa. At an early age, Meetarissa discovered that the lack of attention she received growing up created deep feelings of being unloved, so she turned to an alternative means to cope. And by the time she was 15, she began using drugs. Raised by a single mom, who was also a user, caused Meetarissa to look for love and attention to fill the hole in her life, which lasted for more than 2 decades. This vicious cycle led her into abusive relationships, jail time, and eventually the loss of her children to the court system. Meetarissa vividly remembers just sitting in a cold, dark apartment with a pipe in her hand. They had taken away her children, and she was all alone. One day she cried out to God, and something miraculous happened. She looked up and saw this bright light, and this was the inspiration she needed to get clean and sober. And eventually she was reunited with her children. And everything from that point forward began to work in her favor. Here at home, we couldn't help but to express love for Meetarissa, because from the very moment we met her, she consistently expressed her love and gratitude for home. Meeternestine. After failing health caused Ernestine to lose her job, she fell into deep depression. She had no idea that things would take a turn for the worse, and 4 months of her life would be spent having to leave a shelter each day by 5 a.m. in the morning and return each day by 5 p.m. in the evening. Even in an unfortunate set of circumstances, Ernestine's heart for helping others remained strong. Knowing firsthand what it's like to be out in the cold before sunrise, she provided aid to other homeless women by warming up her truck in the morning and allowing them to sleep inside until she had to report to work. She would also cook large meals while living in the shelter and bring food to those who could appreciate a good home-cooked meal. What a remarkable example of a heart that still desired to give her all in the midst of losing everything.